It's not just nutrition and exercise. We've narrowed it down to that, and I think that's what can cause a lot of shame for people who are struggling with their weight. Some people want to lose weight in order to be healthier. However, we want to flip that focus and look at being as healthy as possible and having weight loss as a byproduct. Or if your goal is weight gain, living as healthily as you can possibly live. And from that, you have the byproduct of gaining weight. People will tell me, I've been eating the same way, I've been exercising the same way, I've been working on my stress the same way. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, but my weight has increased. The thing is, you have changed. You just need to understand the principles behind it. Hello and welcome. I hope that you are feeling comfortable, feeling safe, because this is a judgment-free zone. We're all still learning. We're all in the process of becoming, as they say. And hopefully this video will give you a perspective shift. The past 1% weekly challenge focused on having either a lighter or an earlier dinner. I could not do either of those consistently, but enough about me. We were focusing on having a lighter, earlier dinner. And one of the benefits of that is weight management. It matters what time of the day we eat our meals. If you are joining the challenge and you are changing your habits, it's all good and well. However, we don't want to just focus on behavior modification. We want to go a layer deeper and focus on our mindset, focus on our perspective. It's not just about the body fat, right? It's usually about some mechanism in the body that's not functioning optimally, and we'll be discussing that because in many cases some people want to lose weight in order to be healthier, and there is some truth to that, in that reducing your fat can be helpful for things like sleep apnea. It can be helpful for your blood sugar metabolism. It can be helpful for your cardiovascular health. There is benefit to losing weight that impacts your health. However, we want to flip that focus and look at being as healthy as possible and having weight loss as a byproduct. Or if your goal is weight gain, living as healthily as you can possibly live. And from that, you have the byproduct of gaining weight. I'm not going to hold anyone's hand when I say this, but sometimes you really need to part ways, or not necessarily part ways, but shift your focus, shift your gaze off of your dream body. Okay? Move that gaze off your dream body and focus your gaze on the healthiest lifestyle that you can have. Romanticize that lifestyle. Think of yourself waking up, think of yourself having some physical activity. Make it seem dreamy and pursue that, because anything can be romanticized. Once upon a time, cigarettes were absolutely stylish. They had great PR. People just fell for the propaganda, and later on we found out, oh, this is actually not good. So anything can be romanticized, and you can romanticize living the healthiest version of your life. It does not have to look like everyone else's version. When we think of a healthy lifestyle, we might think of waking up at 5 a.m. We might think of going to the gym. We might think of, a morning run. Yeah, there are people who wake up at 5 a.m. to run, no matter the weather. That is not me, and it does not have to be you. Your healthy lifestyle can be unique to you. You just need to understand the principles behind it. Changing your habits from a place of self-love, as opposed to beating yourself up about not looking like other people. We need to cut off comparison in our journey. In the same breath, what we see can influence our lifestyle. There's this man, he does lifestyle videos where he's always cleaning, and whenever his videos come across my screen, my home is as tidy as it can be, because I'm influenced. I'm being influenced. Similarly, if you are watching content that is a lot of junk food or excessive alcohol, clubbing, drinking, other unhealthy habits, even subconsciously, that can be guiding your decisions, because people can make anything look good. Like I said, so you just have to change what you are consuming visually and even auditorily. Habits still matter. Are our habits as healthy as they can be? Do you have a good handle on sleep, exercise, stress management, and nutrition? Because those are the fundamentals of wellness, and either one of those can impact your weight overall. It's not just nutrition and exercise. We've narrowed it down to that, and I think that's what can cause a lot of shame for people who are struggling with their weight, is because people see a superficial thing, right? They see excess fat or low fat, and they start to make assumptions of a person's diet and exercise. That's not always the case. Stress can lead to weight gain. Poor sleep can lead to issues with controlling your appetite, which can lead to weight gain. If some people are stressed, they don't eat. So it's beyond just the traditional, oh, calorie deficit, exercise, do cardio, which can stress some people out. So it's a whole soup, it's a web of habits that cross each other and can lead to not weight gain, right? We're looking at health. It can lead to a detriment of health, which then consequently leads to weight gain or weight loss. So we want to get our foundations of health covered, and it does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be complicated at all. You can start with what is easiest for you. We made a whole video about ranking the pillars of health. Start where you can. If the easiest thing for you to do is sleeping on time, regularly, good quality sleep, you do that. If the easiest thing for you to do is incorporate more physical activity, you can do that. I would want to throw in working on your muscle mass, because the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is. So any physical activity that can help you build muscle, go for that. People who want to gain weight can focus on building muscle mass, because muscle still contributes to your overall body weight. Increased body weight if you have increased muscle. But also people who are trying to lose weight can benefit from having higher muscle mass, because if you have more muscle, your metabolism increases. So when you eat, you need to feed the muscles as well. So you are allowed more flexibility with your overall food quantity. And then there's stress. Chronic stress can reduce your muscle mass, so it kind of works against your goals of building muscle. But chronic stress can also increase your body fat. And the previous video I posted spoke about different kinds of rest. You just have to find your rest and make it a practice, and your stress can reduce. With nutrition, again, there's a lot of information out there. You don't need to complicate it for yourself. I will leave a picture on the screen. Let me scoot so that I can post the picture. You just need the skeleton of a good meal, which is the fiber, the protein, and the carbohydrate. Leave it at that. Allowing this to be the framework of your plate. Okay, protein. You want at least 1.5 grams of protein per body weight, or if you would not like to do the math, at least more than a palm size of protein. So a palm size of chicken, a palm size of eggs, or if you are okay with doing the math, your body weight times 1.5 grams. This is the minimum. This is the lowest. You can increase that. With this amount of protein, you can have eggs, you can have chicken, you can have beef, you can have, at your favorite proteins. You can put that thing on repeat, okay? Like Rihanna once said, Mr. DJ song Pon the Replay. You can pon the replay your meal. I'm so sorry. Once you understand the amount of protein you need, you can have a visually equal amount of carbohydrates. Not to say that if you're eating 100 grams of chicken, you need 100 grams of rice, but visually, does it look the same on a plate? The carbohydrates can be rice, can be potatoes, can be potatoes, can be pasta, can be, what else is a carb? Bread, it can be grains, it can be butternut, pumpkin, making up a visually equal amount of carbohydrate compared to your protein. And finally, you want your vegetables to be at least twice as much as your protein. Vegetables are high in fiber. We're looking for the non-starchy vegetables, so the vegetables that are not high in carbohydrates, to take up predominantly half of your plate. Now, people, if this is not possible just yet, start where you can. Maybe it's easier for you to increase your vegetables first. Maybe it's easier for you to work on your protein first. Maybe it's easier for you to reduce or increase your carbohydrates. If you're trying to gain weight, you may need to increase your portions as a whole. I discovered the hard way that I tend to undereat. Like, my body requires more than I'm giving it. So for me, I need to have more portions and maybe even more frequent meals, aiming for at least 3 meals a day and maybe a snack. We're looking at whole foods. Okay, we are focusing on foods from nature, not the overly processed food. Those are the 4 pillars of health in a nutshell. Now, I just want to state that I understand. Okay, I get it. Some people are doing the very best that they can, prioritizing all 4 pillars of health, but your body weight is not changing. Because for some people, just the 4 pillars of health is enough. I always advise people, especially women, to check in on themselves every 10 years. So every decade of your life, reflect. because you need different things at different times. You are different. Certain things in your body changes over time. With women, hormones can be really complex. And if you've had a baby, if you've recently started to regulate your hormones, that can come with weight changes. If you've gotten off the pill, that can come with weight changes as well. So the 4 pillars of health, it's a good foundation. If you're not there, please start there. But we can go down one layer deeper into, are you inflamed? Are you estrogen dominant? Is your insulin high? Not blood sugar now, okay? Because it's important to check blood sugar. It's important to check HbA1c, but are you checking your insulin? Because before there's diabetes, there's insulin resistance. Insulin is not always tested. Test your insulin. Even if you're skinny, test your insulin. With insulin issues come hormone issues, comes PCOS, formerly known as PCOS. That's where a lot of these changes can happen. And in that case, you can apply a more direct approach to your weight strategy, your weight loss or weight gain strategy. But the underlying thing is still for you to get healthy, because what good is it if you are working out, you're in a calorie deficit, but your hormones are not optimal? So you get to your weight goals, you get to your body goals, but internally your organs are struggling because you have not addressed the hormonal issues that you're facing. 20 years down the line, in your 50s, when menopause hits, then you face another issue because now hormones are changing again and you have not addressed the previous issues. When you have thyroidism, that affects your weight. Okay, please get it tested. There are natural ways to address these things. If you have a lot of inflammation, that affects your weight. So instead of focusing on body goals, body T, losing weight quickly, before focusing on losing a big amount of weight in the least amount of time, focus on what your body could be trying to tell you. Most times the body is trying to signal to you that there's something happening metabolically. There may be some underlying pathology that you are not aware of, because it's often easier to just look at the outside of the body instead of looking at the metabolism, looking at the chemical reactions, looking at the inflammation, looking at the nutrient deficiencies. Okay, focus on getting healthier. If you don't know what to test for, there is a sheet in the description with a list of tests that you can take. I recommend for women to test for their hormonal panel within a certain time in your cycle. So don't go on day 1 of your period. Don't go in the middle when you're ovulating. Go in the luteal phase. All the information is in the sheet. You can download that and you can request that from your doctor. Let me censor myself here. Not most. Some conventional practitioners will not test for all of these panels, but you can request for it. And if they say no, you can go to a lab, send the list of blood tests below to a nearby lab and ask them to quote it for you. Yeah, you can ask them to tell you the price of all of these things. I recommend testing for all of them if you're able to, once a year at least. If everything is good and well, keep it up. You are likely to be metabolically healthy, which means that your body is taking in food appropriately, it's breaking it down, it is using it well, and it is releasing the energy and releasing the byproducts efficiently. None of these processes are slowed down to the degree where it is detrimental to you. There is the part of getting as healthy as possible as it relates to the mind, okay, as it relates to seeking comfort, as it relates to all the things that can promote our healthy habits or demote them. If you have a complicated relationship with food, that can affect your weight goals, whether you want to gain weight or whether you want to lose weight. Establishing what is a healthy way to see the pillars of health. When you think of healthy food, do you just think of a one lettuce in the middle of the plate and nothing else? When you are stressed, is your go-to to snack? You're playing a long game here, because what you gain is so much more than you would have received if you hadn't changed these things. Because in the process of getting healthier, you're losing weight or you're gaining weight like you wanted, but you're preventing disease. You're preventing diabetes, you're preventing certain cancers, especially if you're not genetically susceptible to these. You're preventing things like dementia. It's a whole thing, and it's not just because you lost weight, it's because you've completely changed, you've completely adapted your approach to health. Now, my beautiful people, one last thing I want to add. If you are in the zone where you are trying to lose a 2 kilogram, a 3 kilogram, or gain a 2 or 3 kilogram, it's okay. We don't want to focus too much on the number on the scale, but we have to still pursue the healthiest life that we can and be content. Be content with where your body wants you to be. If in order for you to lose those 3 kilograms, it means starving yourself, it means over exercising, just stressing your body out just to maintain your body at a negative 3 kilogram weight, that is not your body. Honestly, that's not what your body wants. You are prioritizing that, but it's not the same thing that your body is prioritizing, and it's okay. There's so much variation. There's also variation in our fat distribution. Some people store more body fat in the hips, some people store more body fat centrally, some people store more body fat upper body. Sometimes the weight is distributed differently, and that is the uniqueness of different people. So if you're prioritizing the healthiest version of your life, you might not get to the model look, or you might not get to the, I don't know what's trending. Think of the trendiest body type. You might not get there. Those people, it might be genetics, it might be surgery, it might be Korea. We don't know. We don't know. But genetically, what your body wants is for you to get to the best optimal level of your health. And however your body looks, once you are as healthy as you can be, that is the body for you, even if it doesn't look like the body that you will see being advertised. And it's okay, because like I said, you don't just gain a healthy metabolism and a healthy body, but you gain vitality, you gain more muscle, which can mean that you are less prone to injury as you get older. You have more muscle mass, you have better blood sugar regulation. Okay, you are preventing a lot of the issues that come with the high blood sugar. You are maintaining your mobility. So in summary, your weight may be a reflection of what's happening inside, mentally and physically. Our biggest strength lies in changing what we can. Our lifestyle, our habits, our mindsets. Our weight can follow that. If our habits are not enough, it is worth it to do a blood test to identify if the body is trying to tell you something that's happening deeper. You can speak to a health professional. It's really rewarding when people take matters into their own hands. For many of the things that we discussed, there are solutions. There are solutions to thyroid health. There are solutions to insulin sensitivity. There are solutions to cortisol and inflammation, especially if you're working with someone, if you're being guided well, you can reach those health goals, which in turn can lead to your body goals. Finally, practicing self-acceptance at every step of the way. If you love yourself right now, focus on your health. 1 year from now, you may be looking at someone who looks totally different in the mirror, but you did not defer enjoying life. You did not defer wearing your favorite outfits. You did not defer being out there, being confident because of how you looked. That's all for the video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next 2 weeks. Cheers.